Well, everyone, it's been a little while since we've had an adventure bike or an adventure tourer featuring on the channel. Welcome to our first impressions ride review of the 2025 Suzuki V-Strom 800, which has very kindly been loaned out to me by Fraser's Motorcycles. If you live in the Gloucester area or surrounding counties here in the UK, definitely go and check them out if you're looking to buy any new or used motorcycles. They've got plenty of stock available and lots of demos available for you to test ride, just like this one right now. So if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. Fraser's would really appreciate it, and when you do, don't forget to say hello from me. Alright, now this bike, I'll tell you what, right, I've only been riding it for 15-20 minutes or so, but it's already left quite the impression on me. This is quite a fun motorcycle, even though adventure bikes, they don't tend to be the most thrilling bikes in the world. Well, this one I think changes that. So in terms of the looks, you guys, I really do love the look of this bike, especially if you're into like adventure bikes. I'm not really an adventure bike kind of rider, but the way this bike looks, it's so modern, and I'm sure they've taken some inspirations from nature here, because don't you think that this looks like a duck's bill? You know what I mean? It's really cute, you know, and to be honest with you, it really does suit the shape of the bike, especially as it flows into the screen here, the windshield, the headlights, which are the same ones that you get on the 8R and on the Gixxer Thou, I believe they're the same lights and the same indicators as well. And to be honest with you, even if you're not an adventure bike rider like me, I'm not really much into adventure bikes, I still don't think you'd find the look of this bike all that offensive. Oh yes, and one thing I have noticed on this bike, which I'm a little bit disappointed by, is the lack of a center stand. I don't know about you guys, but adventure bikes and adventure tourers, they seem to really benefit from having a center stand. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but it would have been nice if Suzuki had added one to this, but I'm sure that you can buy an aftermarket one, no big deal. So everyone, now it's time for us to have a little listen to the soundtrack of this bike, which, to be honest with you, even though it's sharing an engine with the GSX 8R, it does have its own little distinct sound. Here we go. Again, just a push to start, you don't have to hold it down. I mean, it is a parallel twin, it is distinctive, but I don't know, it's got a bit more grunt to it. Maybe it's this exhaust here, but here we go. You see what I mean? It sounds mean. Honestly, I'm not into adventure bikes, but every time I get on one, it really does start to convince me of their worth, you know? Especially as an older rider. I just think that, I don't know, that there's so many use cases where a bike like this would be, well, a nice to have, you know what I mean? Alright everyone, but let's talk about some ergonomics. So one of the first things about adventure bikes that you'll notice is they do tend to sit quite tall, and this one is no exception, but it's not too tall. I'm 5'11", and I'm able to tippy toe it. I'm almost able to flat foot it on either side, but it's mostly tippy toes. But moving the bike around is fine if you're walking it, if you're sitting on it and walking it. But yeah, I am having to move off the side of the seat ever so slightly to flat foot on one side or the other. But if you're comfortable with that, then yeah, you're not going to have too many problems. Alright, but yeah, this bike has been warmed up, and well, it's got some torque, baby, honestly. Just like the 8R, I mean, its torque curve is awesome. But going back to the ergonomics a second here, that's the thing, I get drawn in so much by the torque of these bikes. I absolutely love it. But yeah, going back to the ergonomics here, the handlebars are an easy reach away. The foot pegs, I mean, very, very low down. Knees are about 90-degree bend at the knee. Very, very comfortable place to be. The seat as well is to die for, man. This seat is lovely. It's so nice. Yeah, ergonomics wise, I have got no complaints about this bike whatsoever, and yeah, it's got a little bit of ground clearance as well. So yeah, for doing those off-roading kind of things. Now I know that people would call this an adventure tourer, but to be honest with you, if you just put on some knobbly tires on this bike, I have no doubt that it can do off-roading pretty good. And I mean, you can turn off the ABS as well, so the rear ABS, so you can get some sick power slides in there if that's what you're into. So yeah, it is an adventure bike at its heart, this bike, you guys. It's not just an adventure tourer. The grip on the handlebars is fairly wide as well, but again, not uncomfortable whatsoever. Really nice. Really nice. This bike, honestly, is one of the nicest motorcycles I've ridden in terms of ergonomics in a long time. I mean, probably going back as far as when we did our review on the Versys 1000, because that bike was also insanely comfortable. But, and also as well, just like the Versys 1000, this bike is a wheelie monster, because you're sitting quite tall. And that engine has got so much torque, and it's sustained torque as well, all the way through the rev range. Yeah, man, you turn off the traction control on this thing, and you'll be putting wheelies for days. It's great. It's funny how hooligan-like these bikes can be, even though from the outside they look quite civilized. You know, they don't look like hooligan bikes at all, but you absolutely can ride them like that. But yeah, this bike has left quite the impression on me already, you guys, and it's funny because I'm actually feeling more positive around this bike than I was on the 8R, on the GSX 8R, which is its cousin, basically. Runs pretty sure. I mean, I think it's the same frame, the same engine, shares a lot of similarities, the same dashboard as the 8R, but this feels more significant. It feels bigger, it's taller. Yeah, man, what a bike. Alright, you guys, before we jump into some 0 to 60 runs here, let's talk about some specs. So this is the 2025 Suzuki V-Strom 800RE. It's running a 776cc parallel twin-cylinder engine, which is producing 83 peak horsepower at the crank and 78 Nm of torque, all whilst weighing in 223 kilograms wet, which on the face of it might seem quite heavy, but honestly, that's the thing about adventure bikes. They're always heavy on the spec sheet, but when you're actually riding them, they feel so nimble. Sorry, there's a car behind me. They're probably thinking, what's wrong with this person? But yeah, man, like, that's a pretty decent spec sheet, if I'm being totally honest with you guys. Just going to pull over here and let this car pass so we can go ahead and do some 0 to 60s relatively without having to worry about it, relatively stress-free. But yeah, you guys, the nimbleness of this bike is uncanny. You can lean it over quite far, and despite the fact that it is a heavy bike and the foot pegs are fairly low, you are going to be scraping the foot pegs every once in a while. You are probably going to be scraping your boots every once in a while. But still, it doesn't mind leaning over, honestly. It's such an interesting riding experience on these adventure tourers, honestly. Alright, so 0 to 60 wise, I think this bike is going to be fairly quick. We are on a 60-mile-an-hour road here, so this is legit what we're doing right now. I think it's going to be about 4 seconds. 3.5 to 4 seconds, I think, is where we're looking. And it's got the quick shifter as well, so this is going to make things just that little bit easier. Alright, here we go. Full power mode, the lowest traction control mode. Let's see. Okay, nice. So just like the 8R, you are having to get up into third gear to get up to 60, and I can see my into 360 is having a tough time. There you go. Is that better? It's just in the wind, quite windy today. All right, here we go. All right, nice. Do you know what? I actually think the top end of second gear might get you up to 60 mile an hour. Interesting. Maybe just about, but that's pretty quick. And that quick shifter, man, it comes in clutch right here. All right, let's try one more. Here we go. Come on. Alrighty, yeah, top end of second gear, you guys. That's enough to get you up to 60. That's awesome. That's awesome. Quite a low red line, 9,500 RPM. But you've got buckets of torque, buckets of horsepower. It does drop off a little bit towards the end there, typically in, you know, typical parallel twin fashion. But to be fair, for a parallel twin, a big parallel twin, this bike is got some power. Oh my god, if you're going to overtake, man, bloody overtake quickly. Jesus Christ. Honestly. Some people are so, like, anti-throttle use. It's really annoying to me. Use the power of the car. Anyway, or in this case, the power of the bike. But yeah, a fairly quick bike, you guys. No, this bike isn't going to be breaking any land speed records, but getting up to 0 to 60 or 70 or 80 mile an hour, I don't think you're going to have any trouble with this bike whatsoever for everyday street riding, everyday road speeds. It's got more than enough power, more than enough torque. And I think because of the riding position on this bike, because you're sitting a little bit taller than you are on the GSX 8R, it feels like there's so much more power. When I know it's the same as the 8R, and if anything, this bike's going to feel a little bit slower because of its weight, because it's a little bit heavier. But it feels quick. It feels quick. There's lots of power to play with, and that's what I mean, you guys. This bike, see, like, it must be just the riding position, because the riding position seems to suit this engine so much. Like second gear, a little pop of the throttle, and it just wants to go. Man, what a fun bike. See, that's the funny thing, you guys. Like, whenever I look at an adventure bike, I don't think, oh yeah, that's going to be fun. I think it's going to be quite boring. But it really isn't. It's a neat bike, honestly. The whole package that you're getting here is neat, and I think the top box mount is stock. So you get one of those as stock as well. Right, let's pull over here, let this car past us, and let's have a little look at the dashboard. So it's the same dashboard as the 8R as well, but to be honest with you, very, very simple controls. Mode button, up, down, that's it. That's all you need to access everything here on the bike. So the mode, when you press that, it'll highlight traction control, or the power mode, or the ABS mode, and then you simply just use the up or down button to turn the traction control on or off. The different power modes, we'll leave it in power mode C for now. I haven't quite figured out how you can turn off the ABS though. I was kind of hoping that if you turned off traction control, that it would allow you to turn off the ABS. Let me see if I can figure that out a second. Well, you guys, unfortunately I can't figure out how to turn off the ABS on this bike. See, if you hold the up button like that, it will take you to this other menu here, but there's no other settings in here that will allow you to turn off the thing. You know, and I've been here for a few minutes now. See, normally I'd be able to figure out these things. Maybe I'll have to ask the dealer. But yeah, little bit annoying. I thought maybe you had to turn the bike off to turn off the rear ABS, but I don't know. It's on number 2 right now. I mean, perfect for road use, I guess. But yeah, if you're doing any off-roading, you really do want to be able to turn that off. And I can't for the life of me figure it out. Genuinely. There's only a few buttons here. You should just be able to go to the mode, and it flashes, but then it won't let me actually change it. Hit the mode button again, it cancels. So, like, yeah, man, no idea. Sorry, you guys. I'll have to pop it in the on the screen there for you, how to actually do it. But embarrassingly for me right now, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how you're meant to turn off the rear ABS. But anyway, let's carry on with the ride review. Yeah, a little bit frustrating that. But I suppose not all that important, as I don't I don't do any off-road riding myself. But yeah, it's a real shame when you've got like very basic controls, and I did praise the Gixxer Thou and the 8R for having quite nice controls. Oh man, power of this bike is awesome. So whilst we are talking about some criticisms, you know, not able to figure out how to turn off the rear ABS, that's one thing. But this windshield here is non-adjustable, and at my height, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's a lot of wind noise hitting my helmet, and so it is a bit annoying how this is. Yeah, you can't change it, you can't adjust it, you can't lower it, you can't increase the height, because for me, I'd actually probably want it lower, so then it blasts the air over the top of my head rather than it feels like right at my face. Like if I open up my visor, yeah, it's coming right into my eyes, so I do have to ride with my visor down. So yeah, a little bit frustrating there, and I have seen on forums already that riders like to get aftermarket windshields instead. But oh, one thing that I haven't mentioned yet is adjustable suspension. So there's preload adjustment on the front forks, and there's also pillion adjustable preload as well on the rear shock. There's like a little handle that you can use to twist it. So yeah, that's pretty neat. So the pillion is able to adjust their comfort on the fly. But man, it's so annoying because Suzuki, they nearly got this right. They nearly got this 100% dialed in. And I mean, how long have Suzuki been making the V-Strom series of bikes? For, I don't know, at least 20 years, maybe even longer than that, at least in its modern form. So quite an impressive motorcycle all in all, you guys. And apart from the little quirks here and there, like the windshield, this is like nearly a perfect adventure tourer, in my humble opinion. I mean, granted, I haven't ridden many adventure tourers, but this is up there as one of the best. It's got to be. It's nimble, it's light, because most adventure bikes are incredibly heavy. They don't need to be as heavy as they are, but manufacturers make them incredibly heavy, whereas this one is fairly light. I don't know, maybe the Africa Twin would be a better choice. We'll see, but oh gosh, my Insta360 is having some real trouble today. I'll have to pull over and fix that. Yeah, it's going back again. It's being blown away. Alright, I'll pull over and sort it out now. Alright. Okay. That should have sorted it out now. But yeah, man, you guys, I really like this bike. I'll do a video a little bit later on comparing this bike to the Versys 1000. But whoa, jumpy! Traction control really doesn't want you picking up that front wheel. Just dumps it back down on the ground. But yeah, it's a shame because all these little quirks, like not having a center stand. You know, if Suzuki had that, honestly, just a few little bits and pieces, that's all they would have needed to change, and this would have been a perfect adventure tourer. Plenty of space for luggage, plenty of room for a pillion, very comfy seat, very comfy ergonomics, lots of power and torque, and quite economical on fuel as well, I suppose. I mean, it's a parallel twin, so you expect it to be pretty decent on fuel. But yeah, there's the little bits and pieces about this bike. Like, look, I'm not even doing 60 miles an hour. The wind noise that's coming through my helmet here, hopefully you guys will be able to hear it.
It's loud. It's the loudest I think I've heard in a long time. Loudest wind noise that I've heard in a long time. It's just because it seems to be funneling the air straight straight into my face, which is a real shame, you guys. But hey, look, at its core, all right, you can fix these things. You can fix the windshield, right? You can add on a center stand. Okay. Oh, it's my Insta360 having more trouble, is it? It's gone backwards again. Ah, you'll be all right for the remainder of this ride review. I'll leave it for now. But at its core, you guys, despite its niggles, at its core, this is an awesome bike. No cruise control though, that is a bit of a bummer. Would have been nice if it had some sort of cruise control functionality. It's got the quickshifter, which is awesome. It's just yeah, a few little bits and pieces that Suzuki could have done with on this bike. God, I lost a GoPro over the weekend, so now I'm like ultra paranoid about my cameras. To be fair, it is a windy day today. Alright, so that might be playing in to you know, the issues that I'm having with this bike a little bit today. It is very windy. I think we're on the back end of a storm, or a hurricane. But yeah, you guys, this is such a great bike. And it's got wicked amounts of power, honestly. For an adventure bike, it's got such a lovely power curve, genuinely. Yeah, man, all in all, this is a seriously fun bike. For an adventure tourer, an adventure bike, which from my experiences in the past were fairly mediocre. You know, they weren't anything that special, to be honest with you. This is a nice surprise to me, how fun this bike is. And I do believe this engine is more suited to this than in the GSX 8R, unfortunately. Or, I mean, what's the naked variant one? I can't remember. But yeah, this engine does suit this very, very well. And in Suzuki's lineup right now, this has got to be one of the best bikes that they've got, hands down. It's got all the features you want, apart from a couple here and there, but ones that you can add yourself, aftermarket stuff, you know. But yeah, and next to the Gixxer Style, I think this is the best Suzuki bike I've ridden next to that. It's genuinely that good, you guys. Genuinely that good. Next to that and the Hayabusa, yeah, this is pretty good, and it's an adventure bike. Who knew? Who knew adventure bikes could be that good? But yeah, this is the engine pairing, the gearing, the comfort, the way this bike feels. It's very good. Very, very good. The only thing that we haven't spoken about yet is price, and well, I haven't looked at the price. I can't remember what the GSX 8R was either now off the top of my head. That was a few weeks ago. But I'm guessing this bike is probably around about 10 grand. There or thereabouts, brand new in 2025. That's where I'm guessing, around about 10 grand. It might be 9 grand. Between 9 and 10 grand. Adventure bikes, sometimes they are a little bit more premium. They do tend to have a slightly higher asking price, usually. But I don't think that's the case with this. If memory serves me right, I think, yeah, about 10 grand. Which, if that is the price, that's quite a lot of bike for the money, you guys. And especially with all of the touring options, you know, all the panniers, the top boxes, and I don't know, all the stuff that you could potentially do with this bike. It does give you a lot of choices, I think. Yeah, not a bad price. If that is where it is, and that's not a bad price at all. But let's have one last listen to the soundtrack. Wow, pretty nice, you guys. I like it. I like it an awful lot.
Now, I've always said on previous ride reviews how wind and wind noise doesn't really affect me. I don't really care about that kind of stuff. But on this bike, unfortunately, it's made me notice quite a lot how wind can be an issue. You know what I mean? How wind can be something difficult to deal with. And for me, at least anyway, this bike seems to exacerbate the wind issues. But apart from that, you guys, all in all, this bike definitely gets my seal of approval, and it's so easy to get an aftermarket windshield, just 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it is adjustable. You can put it slightly higher up, but you have to undo it here and here to move it up and down. You've got maybe like an inch. Yeah, I think it's an inch of adjustment there. No on the fly adjustment though, which is a little bit unfortunate. But then again, if you keep like a, what is that, an 8 mil Allen key, something like that, 6 mil Allen key. If you keep one of those on you at all times, you just pull over and you can adjust it quickly yourself. So okay, so there you go. So it does have some adjustment, which is nice. But anyway, any of the drawbacks that I'm finding with the bike, there's always an aftermarket option for you, and these bikes are perfect for aftermarket stuff. You know, I did mention earlier about the top box rack here, which I believe comes stock with this bike. So all in all, you guys, I think it's a fantastic motorcycle. The looks, the performance, the features, the handling, the comfort, there's so much going for this bike, so it definitely gets my seal of approval. Thank you ever so much for joining us on a ride review today. If it's convinced you to buy one of these motorcycles, or maybe it's inspired you to maybe have a look at it, then go ahead, leave that like, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos on the V-Strom 800. Thank you again to Freezers for letting me have a go on this bike, for letting me show it off to you guys. Definitely go and check them out. I'd really appreciate it. But thanks again, everyone. You take care, you ride safe. We'll catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.